Hey everyone, this is Kevin with Stoked on Printing, and thanks so much for joining us on our first vlog. And I'm sure as you've seen by the description of the video, I had the opportunity to go to the Bella Canvas headquarters, which is located in Beverly Hills, as well as their cutting facility and distribution facility that is located in downtown LA. So really big shout out to Bella Canvas for having me out there, as well as allowing me to do some footage while I was walking around. Anyways, so the reason we were out there, we were actually invited to a print-on-demand group, I guess you could say, from Bella Canvas, as they are really focusing a little bit more on that space to see what's going on and how they could best kind of suit their business to support that growing part of the decoration apparel space. So again, really big thank you to them for allowing us to come there, voice our opinions, and also just get some really cool insight from other industry leaders. So again, really just enjoyed the whole experience. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as, go check out our new website that we just launched. Love to hear any type of feedback, good or bad. So first, in the morning, we met up at their headquarters. So as you walk in, it's just this really magnificent lobby area with an actual living tree in it. So we were able to come in, get breakfast, kind of meet some of the other people that were there. Once we, ate breakfast, kind of commune for a little bit, we got onto a small, little party bus kind of thing that took us on a small trip down to downtown LA, because they're located in Beverly Hills as far as their headquarters. So we got to ride down to downtown LA, and our first stop was to I can't exactly remember what number building it was, but it was really early on in their start as far as their sewing and in distribution and all that type of stuff. But now what it houses is a Made in USA facility. So this is where they're actually cutting and sewing on site for their Made in USA line. So it is a smaller part of their business, but really cool that they've dedicated that space, time and energy to having a completely Made in USA product. But as we were there, this was a place that was once one of their main warehouses. So you really got to see, I guess, just where they came from. So it was really cool, and it really hit home for me because, as we've grown and grown and grown, sometimes when you see those earlier places, you go, holy crap, we've come so far. So it was really cool to see. When we first showed up to their new Beverly Hills headquarters, to now go see this one warehouse where, and not to say it was in bad shape, but it was just in a much smaller, less grandiose entrance, let's just say, and more humble and a little bit more something that all of us decoration people can probably relate to. There was right off of their, I didn't get too much footage of it, but a pretty modest break area. Again, something a little bit more reminiscent to maybe something in our shop. But right off of it, we were taken outside to a small courtyard. And it was just a really cool story about how they really focused on collaboration within team members. So having this space outside that people get some fresh air, maybe eat their lunch, talk about work, or talk about home life. But it was really cool, and it was really meaningful that they took time out of the tour to just show us this courtyard again that was just at face value, nothing to write home about. But once you knew the background, you could see just the seeds that were planted that allowed them to grow to this gigantic company. So again, just really enjoyed that. So after the first facility, we drove not a really long way, but just right down the street. We probably should have walked. Anyways, we ended up at their distribution warehouse. So this place was unbelievable. So before we walked in, we kind of got a little down low from I believe the warehouse supervisor. And he was just a really cool resource, was able to take us around the whole building. And we were able to ask questions, but to just walk in, we first saw just a small orders being distributed. So when you're ordering, maybe 10 pieces from them, this is kind of where it ends up versus, sometimes when you're ordering those bigger orders. But again, just to see the scale of this building was absolutely unbelievable. We were able to walk down all the different rows, to see like where all of the product is. And something that I think has transpired over the last couple years with all the stock shortages is like, where are all the shirts, And it's easy to think and see like, oh, well, they got 10,000 of this, 10,000 that, but 0 of this, just to see like how much space like all of this inventory takes up, and the investment they have to put into this inventory. I don't know, it just really put in perspective how hard what they're doing is, and something I think that we don't have so much sympathy for sometimes. But yeah, so again, it was just really cool to see that much product all in one space. So we got to see like where, the finished product comes in, orders going out. Again, just a really, really clean warehouse. So after we past the point of the Bella Canvas side of the warehouse, we moved into the Aloe side of the warehouse. So Bella Canvas owns Aloe. I believe, I don't know exactly when they bought them, but they did buy them, and they're a little bit more of a direct-to-consumer yoga, fitness, type of brand. So it was really cool to see like one half, was Bella Canvas, the other half was Aloe. But again, with Aloe being a direct-to-consumer company, they have a lot more smaller orders. When you're buying 1s and 2s and 3s from their website, they're picking these in this warehouse and then shipping them directly to that customer. So they have robots. So these robots were so freaking cool. So again, I'm not a robot expert or I guess a process expert on how Bella Canvas was doing it. But how I could kind of reduce it down is there's a person at a shipping station that gets an order and says like, okay, I need, all of these items. They upload that order into this robot and they put a bin on it. And then the robot goes off on its merry way and it goes through all these different aisles and then it stops to where that product is needed for that order. Once it stops, there are people walking through the aisles. So there might be like 1 or 2 people per aisle that are walking down, and it goes up to one of these robots that's blinking, I believe green, that's letting him know, hey, like something's ready to be picked. So they go up to this robot and the robot will be like, hey, pick this, sports bra or whatever the thing is, in this bin. The person grabs it, puts it in the dedicated bin, and then clicks go. And then the robot goes, cool, thanks for doing that. And then goes again on its merry way to its next position. Or if that's the only item in the order, it goes all the way back to the shipping person. The shipping person grabs it out of the bin and then ships it. So just a really, really cool and thoughtful way to marry like technology as well as like having physical people still in your building, So I think sometimes we think like, well, robots are taking over, they're taking all of our jobs, but it's really making everybody's life a lot better, so they're able to invest into these pieces of technology that ultimately are going to make the employees' lives a whole lot easier. So the last stop before we went back to the headquarters is their cutting facility. So a little background on how Bella Canvas puts their products together is they actually dye and cut all of the fabric here in the US, and then they send that down to Central America to be sewn together. So it's pretty cool that they have such a good QC process here in LA that they could just go down and see like, are colors matching? Are the cut pieces being cut correctly? And again, we'll kind of show you a little bit more in this video of how like they actually cut it, because it's really cool. But yeah, so they have these gigantic tables where they roll all the fabric out onto, and then it's taken into this like end piece where it's actually laser cut out. So it's really just taking a lot of the human error out of it. Whereas I've seen some other cutting facilities where they actually have like this type of like saw that they, hand sew or hand cut through all the fabric. So yeah, so then once those fabric pieces are done, then they're all stacked up on pallets, they're shrink wrapped, and then they're all loaded onto these like big old containers that are then taken to Central America to be sewn together. So the final stop was actually the first stop. We came back to their headquarters and was given a full length tour of this entire headquarter building, which I believe was once home to Sony Recordings or something like that, but some type of really cool bigwig company, because there was a theater in it, there was a recording studio. But yeah, we were given a top to bottom tour of this facility, and it was just so cool to see they had a gym and a yoga studio, again because they own Aloe. But you could just see the amount of money that they've invested into this office where they could bring together their whole team. And I'm sure it's a great recruitment tool, because you can have all these, this really cool kitchen, there's espresso machines and all this around, but you could just tell that there was a really good vibe throughout the whole building. You could just tell that people were there to work, but they were enjoying the people they were working with and working. Again, they have this gigantic living tree that's going through the middle of this lobby atrium kind of thing, that just really brings a nice feeling of freshness and renewal. But yeah, ultimately just the whole offices were super top notch. And then we had a Q&A, with some of the top people at Bella Canvas, and it was really cool to just pick their brain a little bit, kind of get where their heads were at, since we were there for on demand, and also to hear from some of the other people in the room from other companies. So yeah, all around really, really cool time. And again, really big thanks to Bella Canvas for having me out there and again allowing me to film. So biggest thank you is to you for watching this, and again, please just subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram or on LinkedIn, as we're always posting stuff. And again, please check out our brand new website at stokedonprinting.com. Thanks.